YouTube, how's it going? As promised, we're here with the AFC news and rumors from free agency, breaking down what's happened, what our thoughts on it, and what can happen. Let's start in order. Why not with the Patriots? Not really doing much of anything. They're losing Malcolm Butler, as we expected and we know, and they lost Danny Amendola. We'll get into the next team where Danny Amendola went. But are the Patriots, are they going to lose Deion Lewis too? Are they just
What about Solder?
Solder too?
Jesus.
That's got to be Brady's best friend right there.
Oh, boy.
They can't pay him, maybe.
Think they kiss in the mouth?
The Patriots are this is decline. I don't know what you said. I'm going to disregard that. They're on the decline here. They'll still be good.
They're going to make the playoffs.
But it's not looking good. So free agency really didn't start yet. So we can't.
But what bothers me is when we get into the next team, the Amendola contract details, like why? Why couldn't you do that?
Maybe they think whatever receiver they get, it's going to be the same thing. They have Brandon Cooks, who they eventually have to pay, who's better.
What, are they going to let him walk too?
No, I don't think so. They traded for him. There's no way. Do they draft the quarterback of their future? It's something to keep an eye on for the future here. What are their plans to do? Doesn't look good now, but again, Patriots will be fine as usual. But the Dolphins sign Danny Amendola, the Patriots wide receiver, 2-year, $12 million. That's $6 a year, but he has $8 guaranteed, which is pretty good for that contract. But overall, that's pretty cheap for a guy that was
nobody offered him better
in the playoffs. Yeah, nobody offered him better.
I'm so confused.
The Ravens, the Bears got Allen Robinson. They could use more, but the Redskins, there's just plenty of teams. The Colts,
even the Patriots,
Titans, the Patriots, yeah. But the Dolphins are getting receivers when they had a pretty bad trade. They basically gave away Jarvis Landry. You have to credit them for getting receivers, Amendola, and then Albert, who they get for $25 million.
He's a little overpaid, but I like Albert Wilson.
The newer offenses he should be good in.
Yeah.
Tannehill offense should be good. But the question is, what are they doing at receiver? Devontae Parker hasn't lived up to the hype, but he could be a number one receiver. But Kenny Stills, Amendola, and Albert Wilson are
all very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's they got some talent there. It's not the greatest talent, but they have some talent at least. So there's a question mark next to quarterback. Could they get a quarterback in the draft? Could they trade up for one? Do they stick with Tannehill long term? Obviously, Tannehill's going to be starting quarterback this year if healthy. I'm not big on him, but there's a shortage on finding quarterbacks that can't. I say he's somewhat proven that he can play quarterback. He's proven that he can play quarterback.
Yeah.
Then Sue's gone. They drafted well D tackle last year, but are they ready to have those guys step up? Those are the question marks for the Dolphins. They need to do a little more.
Don't they need a kicker now too?
I think 90% of the league needs a kicker, to be honest. Is Walsh available? That's a joke.
That's a big joke.
I do like the Amendola signing, but we need more from the Dolphins. The Bills are
making moves.
We talked the NFC. The face of the NFC right now this time is the Vikings. The Bills or the Browns are the other teams. I'm really intrigued by the Bills because what did they make it obvious? What did they make obvious?
To me, that they're taking a quarterback in the draft. That's what they
picks
made
12
obvious.
and 21. Are they going to be able to get their number one quarterback in the draft? Probably not.
I think they're going to shop those picks to move.
They're going to move up. So they have to know. This is a little bit of draft talk, but they have to know. I tweeted about this, frogs_angels. Very interesting to me. They're going to move up for a quarterback. What does this tell you? They know they're going to move up for a quarterback, so they have to know who their number one quarterback is. Wouldn't you think?
No, yeah, there's no way you make the deals they've done.
You just then go evaluate the quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's not like, we'll evaluate once we do this.
The known top two quarterbacks, I'm not saying they're my top two quarterbacks, but Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold. I'm not a big fan of Sam Darnold. They haven't really talked to those guys. Is it because they already know that they're good? They don't need to really talk to them? Or I do like Rosen fit on the Bills. Love it. But they didn't talk to them. Somebody that they've talked to, they talked to Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, who could be a good fit, but they've already met with twice as Baker Mayfield. Is that smokescreen or is that a sign?
But it's also the guys they, quote-unquote, haven't talked to. Who was the first quarterback taken last year?
Somebody that...
We didn't know Trubisky was talked to by the Bears, and then he was just drafted. He wasn't even called on draft day.
That's true, yeah.
So, I think
we
don't know
because
what
they're
they're
busy
doing.
with the deal with the 49ers. That makes a little sense. But, you never know. I think
they're hiding something.
it's just very interesting. At this point, You don't see a team meet with somebody multiple times. It
happens. Need to move up.
It happens maybe a month from closer to the draft when we get to the pro day. They're going to meet with Mayfield again. He didn't have his pro day yet. They're going to meet with him a third time. So Mayfield's a guy to look out for. Yeah, so the Bills losing Cordy Glenn in that big trade, and maybe that opens up some holes at offensive line, but it also got rid of some cap, and they're going to make the moves to get their quarterback. But on to rumors from this free agency, and news. They got Star Lotulelei in there from the Panthers, defensive tackle. That's a solid pickup. Long-term deal. I think it's 5 years. Young got a lot of potential. They maybe had an off year last year, but I do like that pickup. They needed a D tackle. And they re-signed Kyle Williams, too, so those are 2 D tackles. And they're also interested in Tom Johnson, the defensive tackle from the Vikings. He's a veteran, but still can play. So what are they trying to do?
I don't know what they're trying to do.
Eagles move. That's an Eagles
move.
But
I like it.
Yeah, build the D lineup. Do they get all those guys together? Well, they already got 2 of them, so it's possible. On the Jets, some big news with the Jets. I mean, is Kirk Cousins still in the... Is it still a question for the Jets? It's still a possibility. Sounds like he's going to Minnesota, but the big news is, speaking of Minnesota, they're in serious talk, deep talks, I'm told, with Teddy Bridgewater, the former Vikings quarterback. That's something.
I like it. A
lot of potential for him. I know with the injury, we don't really know what we're going to get, but evaluating him as a prospect, I like him a lot. So the Jets, somewhat of a rebuilding team. I really like that move. I'm a huge Teddy Bridgewater fan. So I hope they complete this move here for their sake.
But I got a question.
What's the question?
If they get Bridgewater, it's not like the Cardinals getting Bradford, because Bradford is there to sit in front of a rookie or to play in front of a rookie for a year or 2. But like if the Jets get Bridgewater, are they drafting a quarterback?
They apparently, I see Simeon. They can bring Simeon in. I think that would be if he was released, which you expect him to be. But I don't know if that's really who you want. Do they still draft? That's a good question. Do they still draft one at 6? Do they get McCown back with Teddy Bridgewater? It's going to be weird because Teddy's almost like he's close to a rookie. He's not a rookie, but he's close to a rookie. So do you draft one too?
He's a guy, if healthy, you'd want to put him in there for the long haul.
I like the move, but yeah, that brings up a good debate. Do they still draft one at 6? If they do, it looks kind of a waste. Getting Teddy, if they get this certain amount of dollars, which the contract is up in the air, we don't know. But at the end of the day, I like for them to make this move. I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. Where do I sign up for the Jets fan club?
I thought you were already in it.
No, I'm not.
Oh, sign right here.
I'm going to sign for the Teddy Bridgewater Jets fan club. But on to the Browns. High interest in Nate Solder, the left tackle from the Patriots.
They could pay him.
They could most certainly pay him. He's pretty good. He's 30 years old, but I think the prime for offensive linemen is around that 30 range, maybe similar to quarterbacks.
Who are they competing with here? The Texans?
The Texans are very interested in him, too. We'll get on to the Texans in a little bit.
I can see the Browns getting him.
I mean, they both can pay him. Browns can pay him more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on who wants him more, really. Texans, I think, need him more, if I'm being honest. Browns need to make sure they get their quarterback, get their running back, and then defense. So
I like what the Browns are doing.
You like what they're doing? All the trades? You approve of all the moves?
I approve. Hey, let me ask you something. Over under 6 wins.
Well, we need to see who they get in
over
the draft.
Right here, right now, as it stands.
As it stands, it's under.
Ooh.
But if they get Barkley in there, if they get, it depends on which quarterback.
We'll say Baker.
Barkley and Baker Mayfield, and they both start. Well, obviously Barkley would start, and they draft well on defense the rest of the draft, we'll say. I say over then.
Wow.
Easy over.
Wow. That's a hot take.
It is a hot take, but like where the Browns are headed, but can they finally draft right? Can they do it? They're going to surprise us. They're probably going to take a quarterback at 1.
That would be something.
We'll see. We'll see. I expect them to continue to make moves. Do they get interest in another corner? Maybe Malcolm Butler. That's up in the air. They have the money, though. The Ravens sound like they're going to be bringing in Dante Moncrief from the Colts.
Not a fan of Moncrief.
Average receiver. Was pretty good with luck. Did have some drop problems. Ravens, he fits in with the Ravens. Average receivers.
The Ravens, I don't know if they've even swung, but they have missed on both Jarvis now, Allen Robinson, Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, we don't know if they had to have
tried.
We know they tried to trade, but the trading's a little different. I understand if you pay. No, I don't understand if you try to trade. pass on a trade when trying to trade for him because they basically gave him away.
They
couldn't do
could have
better than
easily
that.
outdone that, yeah.
I don't know. Moncrief sounds like he's heading to the Ravens, though. They released Danny Woodhead. They do like Alex Collins and their other backs there, and they do like the draft class. Maybe they get one later. But Alex Collins seems to be the guy going forward. Jimmy Graham, add him to the Ravens for possible destinations. Saints, Packers, and Ravens. Top three. I think the Saints and the Packers
Are the two front runners.
two front runners. But money can be involved. But I see them all kind of in the same range.
Every time the Ravens have been a successful team, they've had a successful tight end play.
Yeah, I think they need them, honestly. Like, it's a need.
That's probably yeah.
We've seen like Benjamin Watson kind of I don't want to say take over, but dominate games last year. At his age, he's a free agent now. So what could Jimmy Graham do for him? So that's what they have to look at.
Wow.
Decent tight end class, better than we once thought. So maybe they draft one, a solid one. Steelers, not much going on with them. They cut Gay, which I didn't really realize him playing much lately. So it's not really a big thing. They do need DB help. May get rid of Mike Mitchell. They need to work on a long-term Le'Veon Bell thing while they have him franchise tag. They don't have to rush, I don't think, on that. But they could. I mean, Steelers would be a contender either way, but they need DB help. And obviously, unfortunate Shazier injury. They need another linebacker. But not much going on there. The Bengals, obviously, they traded for Cordy Glenn. The Bengals desperately needed offensive line. They lost all their offensive line last free agency, and it showed this year big time. So they got a proven lineman there, but was it worth it going from 12 to back to 21? That's a big drop.
I think the Bills took a nice jump. That's a good jump, especially
you think
for
the Bills win that deal more than the Bengals?
Yes.
It could help both teams, but the Bills won the deal.
What's the single-handedly most important position in football? Quarterback. And I think the Bills' move gets them one step closer to that quarterback they're looking for.
It could help the Bengals, though. Again, they needed a proven offensive lineman. They got it. They still stay in the first round at pick 21. The thing is to look out for here, or to keep in mind, obviously the Bengals were in need of a lineman. They were sitting at 12. Maybe they didn't see a lineman worthy of that pick. Orlando Brown, I thought, was a good fit with the Bengals. He had maybe one of the worst combines you've ever seen in a lineman ever. So maybe they're like, we got to move down. Maybe they're interested in Connor Williams, Mike Glinchey, just not at 12. Tyler Eifert, free agent. What's going to go on with him? No news on him. That's a little surprising because I think we're both in agreement that maybe he's a top 5, maybe easily top 10 tight end if healthy. But that's the big question: if healthy.
I think that's a big.
I like him on the Seahawks, but we didn't hear anything on that. That's just me. Titans haven't really done anything yet. I'm trusting their process though. They got some to spend. They don't really need any. I don't know if they really need to hit huge anywhere. They could use some pass rush, could use some DBs. Malcolm Butler, are they in on that? Are they in on him? Could they be interested in him? I think they definitely are. Patriot connections. Deion Lewis, they're said to have pretty good interest in him. Pairing him with Derrick Henry could be good. They're interested in Jerick McKinnon, the running back from the Vikings, more of a speed receiving guy. It sounds like they're more interested in Deion Lewis, which I would think they should be more interested in Jerick McKinnon because just the pair with Derrick Henry. Maybe they think McKinnon is going to get starter money, so they can't do it. Maybe that's why they're more interested in Deion Lewis.
I think even if he doesn't get starter money, I think he wants to start.
Yeah. He definitely said he wants a bigger role. I like him on the Titans. I think he's the opposite of Derrick Henry, so that's why it makes more sense. But I don't know if it'll happen. But they do have interest. And then Avery Williamson, their linebacker, they do want him back, but he's drawing interest from other teams. He's kind of weighing his options. I expected him to be signed, but then you think about it, teams need this specific linebacker. He's nothing special, but he's definitely a starting linebacker. So he's weighing his options right now. On to the Texans. Recent news, they're getting Colvin, the cornerback from the Jaguars, and they're on a 4-year deal.
Wow.
They lost Bouye to the Jags, now they're taking one of the Jags' corners.
That's how you do it.
He's more of a slot corner, but I believe he has the ability to play outside. I think he just didn't because they had their outside
there's so
corners.
many guys.
But I mean, he can be the number one slot corner. That's a very important position these days. So that's big news. They're super high on Nate Solder. They're prepared to make him a great deal. It's between them and the Browns. I mean, we talked about the Browns can also make him a max deal as well. Texans need him pretty desperately, I think, for Deshaun Watson. Keep him healthy, even though that's really not how he got hurt. But Adrian Peterson, he's getting released by the Cardinals. Could he be going to the Texans?
I think he said
He said he could be interested. I don't know if the Texans are quite interested
I
in him.
don't think so.
But I'm an Adrian Peterson fan, but kind of getting... He might be already washed up. I don't know. But we'll see what the Texans do. They have some cap to make these deals. They are making that 4-year deal with Aaron Colvin. The Jaguars, recent news, they're bringing in Marquise Lee. They're bringing him back on a pretty good deal there. I thought he was one of the more, maybe a sleeper receiver. I kind of liked him a lot over the years. Very, very underrated. I think he can play. They lost Allen Robinson, so I think they need him back. They may need another receiver in there. I like Marcus Lee. I like him. I like them bringing him back. But the bigger signing is Andrew Norwell. Surprising, too.
Wow.
Maybe
they came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the best lineman in free agency. We thought the Giants
they were
maybe
the front
back to the
runners,
Panthers,
yeah.
if not. Jags came out of nowhere, just like they came out of nowhere for Calais Campbell last year. They do it again. They didn't. People are saying they had one of the top offensive lines all around last year. So what are they doing? Well, you can't be afraid to get better. You can't be afraid to spend your money, and you're a balanced team already. So why not? Basically, it's a proven guy. O-linemen go down like crazy. They go from great to terrible, bad to good, like that. So I like the move. I like it.
Yeah, I do.
Colts are a team I'm not hearing much on.
What are they doing?
The only thing I'm hearing is that they're a potential trade partner with the Bills. Sitting at 3, they do need to trade back. But, I mean, free agency didn't officially start yet, so you can't really blame a team yet. But they haven't. I mean, they're interested in some guys, the obvious guys. I think I'd like them to get more involved in linemen, and just maybe pass rush altogether. Really, they need everything but quarterback, and that's about it.
Yeah.
They have T.Y. Hilton's an excellent receiver, but that's one receiver. I think they're set at quarterback, whether it's Luck or Brissett. I am a fan of Brissett for the future. But they need to get going. Let's see what they can do in the next day or so. Raiders seem to be the front runner for Tremaine Johnson. He could take other visits elsewhere, though, but I predicted him to go to the Raiders. I'm sticking to that. That'd be a big signing. He's a legit number 1 corner, I think.
Yeah.
Physical corner, long corner, what you look for today. That'd be big time if they got him. They're interested in Tom Johnson, the defense tackle from the Vikings, veteran D tackle, still playing at a high level. Another guy they very well could use. I would like to see them land him. Do they bring back Bowman at linebacker? They're also interested in Zach Brown, who is older, just like Bowman, veteran guy, but still playing at a pretty high level.
I think you got to bring him in. You got to bring him back.
Bring him in. So, yeah, they could be interested in bringing Bowman back, maybe Brown too, or one or the other. So they show an interest in Brown. The Chiefs have they've gotten Sammy Watkins. It's really the news for them. Lost Albert Wilson, not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Bringing Sammy Watkins, he fits that offense pretty nicely. It seemed
I'm curious to see how that offense
seems like the front runners
operates.
for him were the Bears and the Chiefs. Weird because the Bears got Nagy, who was the Chiefs play caller, with Andy Reid for a little bit there. So he goes to Sammy Watkins. Mahomes recruited him heavily. It should be a good pair, even though Sammy Watkins is risky, you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But a good amount of money for him. Good for him.
Good for you, Sammy.
Chiefs. Nothing really much more going on. They could use some help in the secondary on defense. Tom Ali is out. Could use some replacements there. Maybe guys for the future. But I'm glad that even though maybe slightly overpaid, maybe a little risky, I'm glad they went out and finally got a receiver besides Tyreek, to have somebody beside Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. On Chargers, really nothing going on. We heard that Ndamukong Suh, that could be a landing spot for them.
Ooh.
I think they'd be looking for him cheaper, though. It would have to be a certain price range. They don't want to overpay him. But I like Gus Bradley. I'm a fan of Gus Bradley's work on defense. He's a good coach. Chargers are a team. They don't need too much, but if they do this offseason right, I think they could be back. They can be in the playoffs easily.
Yeah.
Very easily.
I think they can win. Easy.
Broncos obviously got Case Keenum.
That's a signing.
Big signing. It sounded like Bradford got more money than Keenum. That's a little surprising.
I think it's just
total value. Keenum's getting more, obviously.
I think it comes down to which quarterback was more established.
If Bradford's not hurt, he's better arm.
Yeah.
But that's a big.
But Keenum's also a guy. You're paying him for what he did in 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, similar team, defensive team that can lead you. And I mean, he has 2 good receivers in Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. They're holding on to Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah.
So maybe similar to the Diggs, Thielen, and the Vikings defense situation. I'd say not quite as good, but it's not far off. And maybe he knows who he is now, and he knows where he's going to be. He always kind of had to know he could be thrown around at any time. Now he's locked into the Broncos, so now he's ready to develop and learn and be who he can be. So it actually could work out. He actually could be up. There's a chance he could be better than he was last year. Maybe it's a long shot, some people may think, but I like this. I like it. They knew they weren't getting Kirk Cousins, but overall I like it. Less money than the franchise tag would have gave him. That would have gave him over $20 million. He's getting around 18 to year is what is rumored to be. So it's a lot of money, but it's pretty good. You expect him to maybe draft the future guy to learn behind him too, or they draft Quentin Nelson to block for him. They get that defense back on top. Broncos, pretty decent situation here. Do they trade C.J. Anderson? I don't think they do, but that's been rumored that they could trade C.J. Anderson. We'll see. That all the AFC teams, yep. If you haven't seen the NFC one, we did the NFC video already, so please check that out. We are now part of Patreon, so check out our page, link in the description. We're doing great things thanks to all your guys' support, and we want to continue to grow even further with your guys' help. So we really appreciate you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our other videos. Plenty of off-season draft, free agent coverage all the time. We got you covered. But that'll do it. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.